If I have to separate the two of you again, no more hair pulling. Do you hear me, damn it? No more. We're back with our special guest co-host, Michelle Obama. Listen, your husband gave one of the greatest Father's Day speeches ever. And it was, people say it was directed toward black dads. I think it was directed towards fathers who don't take responsibility. Saying more than half of all black children live in single-parent households. Too many fathers are MIA and acting like boys instead of men. Your thought? What'd you think?
Yeah, I think this is part of where we need to talk about what government needs to do and the changes that we need to make in our policies, but we also need to talk about accountability, and not just among fathers, but how we raise our kids, what we do in terms of ensuring that parents are doing what they need to do for education. It just expands the globe of what we need to do, and Barack has always been that kind of politician. If I don't even see him as a politician, but he's been somebody that's wanted to talk about both sides of that coin. Right. And fatherhood is a part of that. It wasn't the first time he had given that speech. Right. He's talked about that as a U.S. Senator in the state of Illinois, always pushing, particularly young black men, just to see a different side.
Is it connected to unemployment, a lot of it?
Well, it's connected to unemployment, but it's connected to Barack's own experience. I think he's speaking from, and the thing that touches me about that speech is when he says, the greatest gift that he can give is to not be who his father was to his kids. And that, that breaks my... I grew up with a dad, and we were blessed to have a working father in the house and a mom who was right there. And it means a great deal, and we can't take that for granted. And families can look like a whole bunch of things. But kids need those models in their lives, and I think we just have to be honest about the fact that they, that when that's missing, it's not good for the kid.
Speaking of Barack, wanting to be what his father was not, I also read that he comes in for their recitals.
Oh, yes.
Does he do that?
Oh, we just had a recital. I know Mom's end of the school year. Whew. I think I've been to potlucks, recitals. You'll be there. You're still
not there yet.
You'll have plenty of time.
Look at what she's got, though. Look at how she's...
I know, but that's what you have to do before they get into school.
Because we're traveling to Vegas next week, I feel guilty and B, awful about leaving the kids. I've never left Taylor, so I know you must have to deal with leaving the girls, obviously, being on the road. So I made a dinner schedule for Taylor with all of his food to just make myself feel like I'm doing... Look at that. This is crazy. No.
Who'd you leave it for?
I left it because Tim is taking care of Tim, and his mom is coming in, and his father will be there. Who doesn't even need this. Neither of them need this.
And you know what she's going to do? She's going to, as soon as you leave, she's going to take it and throw it right behind her head.
Betsy doesn't need this at all.
Do you suffer from obsessive-compulsive disorder?
I wish I did, actually. I think I tried to make myself feel like, okay, because I did this, I'm an okay mom now.
Can I ask you a dopey question about this? Is this because Taylor shares some of the same food allergies that you have? Is that why it's so extensive like that?
Well, yeah, he's on the food introduction, so you have to go 4 days with every new food.
Food introduction?
Right. Well, yeah, with infants, you have to give them pears one day and apples 3 days later.
Don't they have like jars of that stuff?
Did you do this with your daughters, Michelle? I have nothing like this. I just give them ravioli and microwave it.
Do you? I did the list.
I can email this to you. Be gentle with my schedule.
When you talk about absentee, when your husband first said, I want to be president, did you want him to be president?
No. It's like, please don't do this. I didn't want Barack to go into politics because I thought politics was a mean business. And, I knew this man that I loved. He was sweet and pathetic. I thought, there's no way.
Pathetic? Did you say pathetic?
Empathetic. Right, I know. It's pathetic.
E-M-P-A-T-H. Empathetic.
We got to be another quote on
Sweet and empathetic. When did you come around?
For this race, and always for others, it's me taking that selfish hat off, and it's a reasonable selfishness because I think of the sacrifice that I have to make, that our girls have to make, and once I step outside of that and I stop thinking like Michelle, Barack's wife, and I start thinking like a mom and a citizen, I start thinking about the kind of leader that I would want.
Well, they treat you as fair game, too, now. I mean, because you're out there, and they're looking at the relationships that you have had as a couple.
I didn't even really think about that to that extent, because that really wasn't the case in local politics. I mean, they really didn't scrutinize families as much as they're doing in this race.
Well, no, you look at everything. I mean, going forward, will you think about, okay, who are we going to have dinner with? Who's going to be sitting with us? It's got to affect your decisions.
Does Barack take out the garbage still, or no?
No. He's running for the presidency. Listen, wait, one more thing. Can he come on the show again? I'd like to have him back here.
Absolutely.
So, before we wrap, number one, congratulations to the Celtics.
Yes.
Yes. Number two.
I'm from Boston, so.
Okay, groovy. That's right. Number two, I'm sure if you're watching television in the next few days, you'll see all of the devastating floods that are happening, and you'll be trying to figure out what you can do. Perhaps you can go through your closets, see what you have that you're not using, whether it's kids' clothes or iPods or hair dryers, whatever you have, and start to make a pile that you can take over, because I suspect that the Red Cross, with the little bit of money they have left, because they're running very low, are not going to have the resources that they need. So that's something that we can all do, and maybe you can start a drive at your church or at your school or whatever to help these folks
And you used to be involved with the Red Cross.
I was on the board of the Mid-America chapter for a few years, so
cool.
Yeah, they need the help.
And don't forget, Miss Joy is on Larry King this evening. We'll be right back with Matthew Broderick.